A general overview of burnout as a global phenomenon. Mahatma Gandhi said, "It is health that is real wealth, and not pieces of gold and silver." The wealthiest people in the world might not argue that statement. After all, what good is limitless wealth if a person isn't mentally and physically healthy enough to enjoy it? If you have time to choose between mental and physical health, mental health wins every time. If your mind is shot, it's impossible to properly use a healthy body. With excellent mental health, your body may not be in the best of shape, but you can still enjoy a full and rewarding life. Unfortunately, a lot of people these days fall prey to a thief of mental health. According to Stanford researchers, burnout alone causes the United States an estimate of $5 billion annually, and it affects around 615 million people worldwide. That was the finding of Dr. Christine A. Sinsky and several other doctors in their research reported in the June 2019 issue of Annals of Internal Medicine. This gives us an idea about how widespread burnout really is. It's such a worldwide problem with far-reaching repercussions that the World Health Organization considers it a global health condition. That respected international health authority believes that more than 120,000 annual deaths are direct results of burnout-related conditions. It was included in the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases, where it's listed as an occupational phenomenon. Burnout isn't just work-related. Generally thought of as a workplace issue, anyone who has endured a difficult relationship understands that burnout can affect other aspects of a person's life. Marriages can be difficult. Some, unfortunately, result in a person feeling out of control and overburdened. If they can't see any end in sight to depression, feelings of emptiness, and being underappreciated, and a lack of control, burnout can develop. Any interpersonal relationship that is ongoing might lead to chronic stress that is unrelenting. That can lead to burnout if the stress is not addressed. Parents of problem children will tell you that there are days when they throw their hands in the air and just give up. They mentally and emotionally have had enough. If this type of situation continues, the toll to a parent's mental health can be devastating. If depression, overwhelming exhaustion, a lack of emotions, and physical symptoms are constant companions, you may be suffering from burnout. It's crucial that you get this condition addressed. It can lead to damage and loss in many areas of your life if untreated. The good news is that burnout is a totally reversible condition when it's treated by a licensed mental health professional. 5 signs of burnout. When was the last time you were stressed out about something? Was it a big deal or just something that caused a little bit of concern? Most of the time when we encounter stress, it gets handled without too much of a bother. You put the stressful situation behind you after taking some type of action. Unfortunately, sometimes we're hit with stress over and over. It's our constant companion. When this happens, it's very easy to get burned out. People use that phrase a lot, and it refers to a mental breakdown that comes from physical, mental, or emotional exhaustion. By the way, what may cause burnout in one person might not affect another person at all. So your feelings about what is beyond your ability to handle are relevant for you. Don't ever let anyone tell you that what you see as a high level of stress is nothing to be concerned about. Ignoring burnout is what causes the biggest problems. Your body, mind, or emotions crash and simply can't function. You find it hard to do the simplest of things. Carrying on with normal life is borderline impossible. This is chronic stress to the extreme. Here are 5 red flags that indicate burnout might be at work. Remember what we just said. Your stress tolerance levels may be very different from those of someone else. Listen to your body. Embrace your emotions. Don't ignore potential problems because you think you might be able to just tough it out. Look for these 5 signs of burnout if you can't seem to escape stress in your life. You feel isolated, all alone. You're physically or emotionally exhausted. You constantly daydream about escape fantasies where you run away and live a fairy tale life. You're constantly grumpy and irritable, sometimes to the point of emotional explosions or even physical attacks. You're sick all the time. You could, of course, encounter 1 or 2 of these situations and not really have a problem. The issue arises when 3 or more of these signs of burnout are regularly present. You should never be ashamed to consult a mental health professional. You rush to the emergency room if you suffer a serious injury, and leaving burnout untreated is the same thing as simply ignoring a broken leg or head trauma that would otherwise have you seeking medical attention. Take burnout seriously. If you or someone you know can be described with the 5 burnout red flags we just discussed, take action. Do something today, not tomorrow. Burnout can lead to serious health problems if it's not addressed quickly. 4 proven steps to beating burnout. We all have stress in our lives. It's a normal occurrence. Sometimes the things we worry about are the same on a regular basis. The end of the month is rolling around once again, and you're concerned about your financial responsibilities. If you're a parent, regardless of the age of your child, you're always stressing out to some degree about something. This is especially true when your kids become teenagers. They begin to test your authority in an attempt to develop independence. If you've ever been a parent of a teenager that finally earns a driver's license, you definitely know the meaning of stress. These types of common stress occurrences come and go. They don't usually cause you to burn out emotionally, physically, or mentally. Burnout is heavy-duty stress that stays in your face all of the time. It can cause you to check out mentally or break down physically. Before that happens, put these 4 burnout prevention practices in play. 1. Start eating right. Eat lots of fresh, minimally prepared fruits and vegetables. Enjoy a diet with healthy whole grains. Drink lots of water, green tea, or herbal teas every day. Avoid sugar, white flour, too much salt, and highly processed foods and beverages. A healthy, balanced diet keeps your body and mind from stressing out and can additionally keep burnout at bay. 2. Get up, get moving, exercise, and stay active. Exercise is an all-around health booster. It strengthens your mind and body and can even trigger the production of chemicals that lower stress and raise feelings of happiness. There are hormones that are produced when you get physically active. They contribute to more positive feelings, happiness, and a feeling of calm and peace. Other hormones like cortisol don't like you feeling happy. The more you're lethargic and sedentary, not getting much physical activity regularly, the higher the levels of these stress-producing chemicals. Cortisol is actually called the stress hormone because when you choose sitting and relaxing over getting up and moving most of the time, it raises your stress levels. Get at least 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of moderate to intense physical activity every week. You'll be surprised at how much this lowers your stress and improves your positive outlook. 3. Get 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night. The belief that you can catch up on sleep is incorrect. The damage done from not enough restful sleep can't be undone. Practice good sleep habits. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each and every night and you'll experience less stress in your life. 4. Seek help before rather than after. When you see your stress levels starting to rise, get help. Ask your friends, family members, and coworkers if they think you are stressing out. Then talk to a mental health professional before burnout causes serious problems in your life. These are a few proven ways to prevent burnout. They also lead to other mental and physical health rewards. Take stress seriously. If you don't, it can lead to burnout that threatens to cause a lot of preventable damage in your life. Beware the gradual, relentless nature of chronic stress. Most people go through life without suffering from burnout. We all have stress and anxiety enter our lives. We deal with it and move on. That having been said, it's easy to let relentless stress sneak up on you. It is, in some cases, gradual and slow-moving. This makes it virtually invisible and easy to underestimate if it's noticed. Think of it like a slowly dripping faucet. Place a large container under that faucet, and you might believe it'll take a very long time for you to fill up. Watch as the faucet slowly releases 1 drop of water at a time every few seconds. The progress is so sloth-like that you decide to turn away. There are better things to do than spend the next few days of your life monitoring the progress. You can surely come back in plenty of time to empty the container and force the slowly dripping faucet to start all over from scratch in an attempt to fill it. That's what you think anyway. Upon returning, you discover that the water long ago overflowed the container. Even though you knew it would eventually be full, you couldn't stop the faucet from filling the container before it was too late to do anything about it. Burnout is as sneaky as a slowly dripping faucet. That watery analogy between a persistent drip and burnout is important. In the example we just used, it would be easy enough to grab a mop and clean up any mess that was made. That's not the case when constant and unrelenting stress and other factors lead to burnout. The damage caused by someone who has a burnout-induced breakdown can include low self-esteem, social withdrawal, excessive exhaustion, and the inability to perform simple tasks and lead a normal life. In some cases, a person might turn to self-harm and even attempt to take his own life. There are reasons burnout needs to be treated quickly. The best case scenario is to prevent it before it happens, monitoring stress and addressing it in the best possible way. If you have a lot of stress in your life, get help to alleviate it. If you're not careful, a slow but steady exposure to chronic stress can negatively affect so many areas of your life. How to beat the 8 in 10 odds that you'll develop workplace stress. A work stress study conducted in 2013 showed that a staggering 80% of employees felt stress while they were at work. That study, Attitudes in the American Workplace 7, also revealed other startling information. For example, almost half of the respondents said they wish they could get help learning how to deal with stress on the job. 1 in 4 felt like shouting or screaming out loud because they were so stressed out. 18%, about 1 in 6, experienced verbal intimidation or a physical threat in the previous year. 14%, roughly 1 in 7, admitted that they felt like striking a coworker in the past year. 10%, 1 in 10, were fearful of an individual at work and believed that person could become violent. What's going on here? Why are people so stressed out at work? For that matter, what can be done about it? Now let's look at the good news. There are simple techniques to lowering your stress level. This means if your coworkers, your job itself, or some other issues are stressing you out in the workplace, there are steps you can take to prevent suffering from burnout. By the way, what does burnout mean? It's a phrase psychologist Herbert Freudenberger coined in the 1970s. Put simply, it describes stress, usually workplace-related, so severe that it leads to mental, emotional, and/or physical exhaustion, which then causes a mental breakdown. This is unlike the normal stress of having a rapidly approaching deadline on the job. It's much more serious. Untreated, burnout has been linked to a greater risk of developing psychological illnesses, heart disease, and even diabetes. What can you do about it? Here are a few proven ways to prevent and treat workplace stress so it doesn't turn into full-fledged burnout. Consult a human resources manager if possible. Think about the situation when you are away from work. Are you causing the issue or making it worse in some way? Be honest with yourself. You can't treat a problem until you know where it originates. Solve the problem that's causing stress. Sometimes you can come up with a solution that improves productivity, workplace morale, or employee interactions in such a way that it reduces stress for everyone. Remove yourself from the environment. Ask for a transfer. Don't spend any unnecessary time with the people who are stressing you out. Talk to your coworkers. Form a support network. Compare notes, and then approach your boss with your concerns. Exercise and eat right. Regular physical activity and healthy eating habits can dramatically lower your stress on the job and at home. If these burnout-busting tips don't help, you might consider getting a job with a different company. Sometimes you simply can't enjoy peace of mind in a particularly hostile workplace. Rather than constantly facing a stressful environment that threatens your emotional, mental, and physical health, put the situation behind you and move on.